This city, 50 miles east of Los Angeles, had already slashed salaries and cut 20% of its employees. San Bernardino still faced a $45 million deficit when the city council called for an emergency session and voted to file for bankruptcy.
It would be an ongoing disaster if the city continued as we are going without reorganizing.
San Bernardino is a blue-collar city of construction workers and factory employees, hit hard by the housing collapse and recession. Unemployment is 17%. And the city's tax revenue took a dive while generous pensions and salaries for city workers were expanding. The mayor admits the city is partly to blame.
He set expectations for compensation as well as for retirement benefits and early retirements and health benefit payouts that we could not afford.
This comes only weeks after the biggest city bankruptcy in U.S. history. Stockton, California, got into the same trouble with falling revenue and escalating obligations. City employees and residents were angry.
The world is watching, thank God, so they can see that we are victims of a society that's failing us.
It's not just California. State and local governments across America are in trouble. Detroit, Chicago, Providence, Rhode Island, Scranton, Pennsylvania cut its workers to minimum wage. They all promised to pay and spend money they didn't have.
There's so many causes. There aren't enough fingers on your hand to point fingers at the people that have made mistakes and that are to blame for this.
Bankruptcy will allow San Bernardino to dodge some of its debts while making sure they can still pay their employees. It may also give them the opportunity to reinvent the business of government to make sure this doesn't happen again.
We've got to go back to the game board and reconfigure ourselves. That's my view. We can no longer afford to do it in the traditional way.
This city has 45 days to file bankruptcy, an historical humiliation that other local U.S. governments may have to endure as well. Brian Rooney, Al Jazeera, San Bernardino, California.